And the problem with this is that judges and juries strongly rely on witness confidence. And it's perceived to enhance the credibility of the witness. But studies have shown that the level of certainty that a witness expresses does not necessarily correlate with the level of accuracy and is not a reliable predictor. And we've shown that there's a lot of things that can happen along the way from the time the witness originally identifies someone to when they get in court and they're very confident that they have selected the right person. So obviously, we can see the effect that this may have. If someone is in court and is appearing to be, yes, I'm positive this is the guy, like Jennifer Thompson was at the beginning, she was positive it was the guy, but it was not him. So what can we do to improve the system? So lineups. Simultaneous versus sequential. I'm not sure what type you're familiar with. We do both. Simultaneous lineups are when the photos are shown all at once. So you're sitting there with a collection of photos. Sequential lineups are photos shown one at a time. So the witness sees one that's gone, sees another one that's gone. So my question is, which type of lineup would produce a more accurate identification rate? Do you think it's the simultaneous, where they see all the photos at once and they can select, or the sequential, where they only see one at a time, or a combination of both? So, a simultaneous lineup. And a sequential lineup. And a combination of A and B. So very interesting to see we have quite a diverse response for all of our questions. But the answer, in fact, is just somebody press one of your clickers for a second. Just see okay. So the answer is B, sequential lineups. Sequential lineups result in a greater accuracy rate. And I'm going to explain why. In sequential lineups, witnesses are encouraged to make an absolute choice before they move to the next photo. This is the guy or this is not the guy. You either know or you don't know. And I've been saying guy all along, but it could be girl, obviously, so we'll put that in there so I'm being equal. A simultaneous lineup, the witnesses are comparing pictures with the other and they're trying to select. You can't think if it's this guy, but maybe it's this guy, it looks a little bit like him. So fewer false positive selections result from sequential lineups. So this is something that we are strongly encouraging that we do in Canada, is that there are sequential lineups and not simultaneous lineups. So some other things that we can do is reduce some of the biases of the testing. Don't use the same police officer who was involved in the investigation as the person who's conducting the photo lineup or the live lineup. So that investigating officer is not present and does not know who the perpetrator is. The person conducting the lineup has no idea. So therefore can't give any suggestions. And sometimes the suggestions may be verbal or non-verbal too. So there's no opportunity for the officer to consciously or subconsciously influence the witness. And another idea is to have computer software do the lineup. So the witness sits in front of a computer and the computer says, I'm showing you this photo, and then I'm moving to the next photo and the next photo. So there's not even a human present in the room, although it's being observed on full circuit TV. But there's no human presence in the room. So some other things that we can do is videotape or audio tape the procedure. So when the witness is making a selection and you can see that he or she is struggling with a decision, videotape that and audiotape that. So then by the time when you get to court and the witness is saying, yes, I'm positive it was the guy, you can actually show the tape of her making the ID the first time. So the judge and the lawyers and everybody can see, well, maybe she's not as confident as she's purporting to be, because when she first made the ID she wasn't confident, so how can she be confident now? So that's something that we're working towards as well. And then, of course, develop guidelines for proper instruction, some of which that I have suggested. And develop guidelines for doing the lineups, so that the lineups, you have procedures that are in place as much as possible to reduce any biases. And then in court, know what questions to ask. Know the correct procedures and ask if these correct procedures have been followed. Do not rely upon the level of confidence of the witness. Recognize and be aware of the frailties that we discussed here today. Know about the problems with memory, how verbal descriptions can be vague and inaccurate. Problems with the lineups and the shoulders. Danger, the power of feedback on a witness. And how so much time may have passed from the time the first ID was made until in court. So in conclusion, there's a quote there from the Supreme Court of Canada, but I won't read it. I'll just read the end. We must be cognizant of the inherent frailties of identification evidence arising from the psychological fact of the unreliability of human observation and recollection. So eyewitness identification obviously is a very, very necessary element of our criminal justice system, but we must insist on the reforms and the procedures and be aware of the frailties to make the evidence more reliable. I've included for you my contact information. If you'd like to have any of this information or see any of the studies or have any background information or just have any questions, I'd be happy to provide whatever I could. And I've also attached some suggested reading of where some of the studies came from and some of the materials and some websites. There's lots of great information there, and I'd be happy to guide anyone. Muchas gracias.